What is going on, Torontonian, Raptonian fans, audience? Oh my gosh, can you believe that we've actually made it here to another Toronto Raptor season? How exciting! Game one was tonight, and the Raptors, the new look Raptors, I think we're looking pretty solid out there. Everyone's been wondering, what is this team built for? How is Brandon Ingram and Scotty Barnes and RJ Barrett and Emmanuel quickly? How are they all going to work out there on the floor? Too many people need the ball. Too many people have similar interswitchable type positions. There's not going to be enough spacing. There's not going to be enough, of a big guy. But anyway, I don't know. Obviously, this is only one game, and the sample size is very small. And who knows if the Atlanta Hawks suck or not. Still, time will tell. But let's just quickly run through the game, and I've got predictions for the season as to where everybody's going to end up. And, I think it's a pretty sweet start. Even with Jakob Poeltl, his face mask, he was a little bit limited in minutes. They certainly took him out early there, even at the end, but it was a long stretch from him starting to coming back in when they put and this is going to be a challenge to start to learn this guy's name, but Mamu Alabalabala, whatever the heck it is. Anyway, I'm not prepared to learn it yet. I will get it, obviously, as the season goes, but if you've ever watched any of these videos, I'm brutal with names as far as that goes anyway. But yeah, 138 to 118. The Raptors took control right from the beginning. We never relinquished the lead. We were up by as many as 29, I believe. And some dominant areas of the game. Now, Brandon Ingram, let's look at our newest Raptor, only had 16 points, but I think he was feeling it out there. You know what I mean? He's still like a first actual game that counts. Being played since he's had his injury. First game on a new team. Yes, they had some preseason games. Yes, they did pretty well even in those. I think we were 4-2 in the preseason, so decent. But RJ Barrett is really who I think we should be focusing on as far as offense goes. Could we please stop these RJ Barrett trade rumors? I saw one the other day. He's going back to the Knicks. All of this is ridiculous. This guy is a hometown kid, grew up, okay, sort of hometown, as a Torontonian myself. I don't know. Do we consider Mississauga? It's GTA for sure. It's GTA for sure, but obviously it's not Toronto. But still, close enough. I mean, as far as homegrown talent goes, we'll take it. We probably would even try and claim a Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, even though he's from Hamilton. So anyway, RJ, hometown guy, out here getting buckets, 25 points in 30 minutes. Um, Decent numbers from the floor. I mean, 9 of 12. That's pretty efficient. 2 of 4 from three. That's 50%. And he hit all of his free throws. I mean, what else can you ask from this dude? Guy is killing it. And Scotty Barnes, 22. And you know what I loved about watching Scotty Barnes tonight? And again, let me just see if this plays out here. Yeah, 9 of 14. He jacked up zero threes. He jacked up zero threes. This is what I want to see from Scotty Barnes. I hate to say it, as you're working your three shot, as I've said last year, behind the scenes, when you think you got it crisp, or you got an open one and we're maybe up by a bit, sure, start jacking him up in the game. That's fine. But I worry in real games when he does that early and misses, starts clanking him, that just gets in his head and he starts feeling like I'm a failure. Scotty, you're not a failure. You're a humongous dude. You're an unbelievable defender. You're a madman around the rim, dunking it. You've even got, the little, I don't know if that's quite a midi, but, a 5, 7, 10 foot sort of range shot. He can hit those. He went up a few times and hit those. I was watching the Atlanta Hawks broadcast because I don't know why Sportsnet was glitching out. Um, and so anyway, it was interesting listening to Dominique Wilkins, talking about the Raptors. I don't know who their play-by-play guy is. But a few times at the beginning, he was saying Scotty Barnes doesn't have a jump shot. Scotty Barnes is a guy that, for how important he is to the team, he needs to develop that jump shot. By the end of the game, he was going, "Wow, Scotty Barnes, he's a solid guy. Scotty Barnes, look at how many points he's got in the paint. Scotty Barnes, dunking it again." So Scotty Barnes is a force. On D, he made a beautiful block on Porzingis. Unfortunately, um, there was already a foul. RJ, I think it was, fouled him as he was kind of going up. But man, Scotty came out of nowhere. He's got the hops, he's got the length, the reach. And to stuff a guy like Kristaps Porzingis, I mean, he's what, 7'1", 7'2"? I don't even know exactly what his height is. But yeah, Scotty, 22 points. Nice work, very efficient. Jakob did fine. There were a couple weird little plays that he missed and some weird passes to him too, even one from Ingram. So again, some of that stuff's going to be growing pains. This team still has not played many minutes together. Even this season, this preseason, I mean, they weren't able to get out there on the floor, and you're trying to see your secondary guys and see who's going to make the cut, and you don't want to kill your starters out there. So some growing pains there. And Emmanuel quickly missed a couple of jumpers, but again, like there was one where he was so wide open in the corner. Interesting comment, from the Atlanta broadcast I was watching. They were saying everybody who's human is going to have the jitters here. This is game one, and that was early in the game. So I would chalk it up to that. But I mean, overall, he was 5 of 12. So it's not like he, wasn't taking shots, and he was 0 for 7 from three. 0 for 7. Not good. I like Jakob Poeltl and Scotty Barnes. Numbers from three much better, where they were 0 for 0 attempts. And then just dropping down quickly through the rest. I mean, interesting way they did the sub in. So, I mean, if you didn't watch the game, our starting lineup was Jakob Poeltl, Scotty Barnes, Brandon Ingram, RJ Barrett, and Emmanuel Quickly. And then they seemed to not do a full bench mob swap. I don't know if this is something they're going to keep up. Obviously, we're going to have to see how that plays out as the season goes on. But we saw the first sort of off the bench was the Mamu Abadaba. I mean, really, what is it? Mamu Kalabashi? Anyway, like I said, I'll practice. I'll get it. But let's just call him Sandro even from now. That's funny. The play-by-play guy on TSN, um, the coach was saying that he's going to be calling him Sandro because he couldn't quite get his name right. But anyway, they had him come out with Grady Dick and Agbaji off the bench. And then they left the first time they left in Emmanuel Quickly and Brandon Ingram. Seemed to work. I mean, we didn't give up the lead. There wasn't a major lull in offense. I mean, Grady Dick did pretty well. He had 21 on his own. Some of that was in sort of the garbage minutes at the end, where they had him still on the floor with Mogbo and Battle and Jamal Shed. But yeah, so anyway, so that was their one sort of off the bench iteration. And then they had a second one where Dick was out there for a minute, but he sort of left. But they had Jamal Shed, Battle, Mogbo, and then RJ and Scotty Barnes. Um, Interesting. I can't really say I hated it. It seemed to work. The ball was moving still. Brandon Ingram was a little bit stoppy with the ball, doing his ISO stuff. But it wasn't bad. It wasn't bad. And a few times he was looking to get people open, and that's what even that shed. I mean, the Emmanuel Quickly open three in the corner was extra disappointing because when a guy like Brandon Ingram, who typically does sort of stop the ball, actually makes the effort to give a pass, I feel like that shot more often than not should be sunk so that he's not thinking in his head, I can't dish the ball. I need to be the man. I need to go score all the time. Now, again, we might need him to have that mentality in the last minute of a game since we didn't really have a guy. I didn't love Scotty Barnes, being the guy at the end having the ball. If he was going to run in and just plow through everybody and dunk it with two hands, that would be fantastic. But more often than not, he would sometimes be pulling up, or he'd even try and pull up for a three. That's not cool. I'd rather have Brandon Ingram pulling up for a three, even though in this game, Brandon Ingram was 0 for 2 from three. But again, I think that's going to come, as the game goes. Even he loves that sort of step back, kind of fade away jumper, and it wasn't looking the best. I mean, he was below 50% from the floor overall. in his 27 minutes. So, but anyway, yeah, I really think that's going to come. He has said openly he wants to prove that he's an all-star. He wants to prove that he was worthy of being a second overall pick, and he wants to prove that, you know, he's an MVP type caliber. That might be stretching it a little bit, but who cares? If this guy can push himself even into the top 20, I think that ESPN ranked him like 76 or something. Anyway, I might pull those up next week and talk about that. But this week, what I think we need to talk about is the where everyone's going to end up in the season. So, um, a couple of last quick comments. So let's just run through this game. Battle had 2 points. Mogbo 4. Ochai Abaji looked okay, but he was missing shots. He missed all three of his 3-point attempts. Jamal Shed was 50% from three with 1 of 2, and then 3 of 5 overall from the floor. And then, like I said, Grady Dick, 6 of 10 from the field, 2 of 4 from 3-point land. And yeah, a plus 18. I mean, pretty solid stats. And you know what I love the most is that we beat Trae Young and the Atlanta Hawks. Trae Young, not a great game for him, but still 22 points, but he was a minus 14. Yeah, lots of volume shooting. I mean, he is a volume shooter, which is why I don't give him as much credit as a lot of people do for being such a talent. Another reason why, Kobe and some of these other guys on the all-time list go down for me. This guy was 5 of 14. Not great. His percentages are not good. He was 1 of 7 from three. So anyway, I don't really want to talk about the Atlanta Hawks, but I do want to rub it in that Trae Young sucks. And thank God he's not on our team because these guys act as if he's the next coming. But anyway, season. Where are the Raptors going to go with this lineup? Yeah, I mean, it's funny enough. I did these. I had in mind where they were going to be before watching this game to not be swayed by it. Funny enough, I mean, we got to see what happens, of course. But if they can come out with that much energy, and taking right from the inbound, they're up there in the guy's face defensively. If they put that much effort into every game this season, our defensive rebounding was unbelievable. Overall, actually, just quickly, we had 54 rebounds to their 34. Excellent. Um, and points in the paint was a crazy stat too, which again I love. I mean, I know you can win or die in this league by the 3-pointer, but sadly, I think the Raptors too often are dying by the 3-pointers. So get the ball inside if you got an advantage, and you got a huge guy like Barnes, and you've got a guy like Ingram, and RJ Barrett loves taking it to the hole anyway. That is the kind of stuff that we need to keep doing. So if we are able to do that, I mean, we might even end up one slot higher than where I'm going to put them, but I'm going to go through my Eastern Conference predictions, and then we'll wrap this sucker up. So number one, oh, sorry, quickly I will add that ESPN did a simulation on the season, and pretty interesting what happened. It's funny, it didn't get a lot of play. I don't know if it's because the Raptors ended up doing pretty well in it. Um, they had the Raptors after April 20, sorry, after April in 2026 in 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, just behind Cleveland. They had it Orlando, Knicks, Hawks, Pacers, Cleveland, Raptors. Now, the sad thing about these things is that they're a lot based on paper, which Raptors on paper look pretty solid, especially adding Brandon Ingram in there. And I think likewise, the Hawks on paper look good, adding Kristaps Porzingis and Zard and some other guys that, their draft pick was pretty good too. I do not think the Atlanta Hawks are going to end up sticking around that high in the standings. And so even at the end, the final standings of the ESPN simulation were, and I'm just giving you these as contrast to what I'm doing. I didn't base any of mine on these. In fact, you'll see for some reason the Cleveland Cavaliers are way low on this from where I have them. But they had Orlando Magic 1, Knicks 2, Atlanta Hawks 3, shocking, Pacers 4, Toronto Raptors 5, which unbelievable. Usually the Raptors are getting dissed by ESPN. Of course, this was out of their hands. They probably stuck all the stats into a simulation and had that run. So this is the AI generated ish. But yeah, Milwaukee Bucks 6, Cleveland Cavaliers, they had a 7th, which I think seems crazy unless there's been like a Jared Allen or some Darius Garland injury that I'm not aware of. I can't see them being seventh, especially when I think they were first last year. They might have been second behind Boston, but actually, I don't know the truth. I have that right here, so I can tell you. Yeah, they were first in the Eastern Conference. That's what I thought. So anyway, then they go Miami Heat 8, Chicago Bulls 9, Boston Celtics 10, the 76ers 11, Pistons 12, Hornets 13, Brooklyn 14, Washington 15. So that's based on paper. My predictions are I have as number one, believe it or not, the Orlando Magic, which actually makes me a little sick to my stomach because I have a hate on for Suggs, even though weirdly we were supposed to be drafting him the year we got Scotty Barnes and we didn't. Scotty Barnes, was clearly the better pick, winning Rookie of the Year, and even second year come a little bit down, and Suggs has come a little bit up, which is upsetting to me personally. So I feel sort of gross picking the Magic first, but Bankero and the German dude, which suddenly his name just jumped out of my head, but they got some sick players and they're going to be another year better. They're still young, they're still growing, exponentially. So, anyway, I think Magic number one. I think the Cleveland Cavaliers will be number two. Like I said, unless there's some crazy injury I'm not knowing about, and that's why ESPN ranked them so low and had them seventh. I got the Knicks three. I've got the Indiana. No, I've got the Detroit. I had Indiana four, but I changed that. I put Detroit Pistons at number four because they're also up and coming. Um, I've got the Pacers five, and I've got the Toronto Raptors six. I think the Toronto Raptors. I like six partly because you can avoid the play-in. They've said their goal is to make the playoffs, and I believe them. I think Darko has them motivated. I think Darko seems to have them all buying into this extra effort. Brandon Ingram's not quite there yet, but even on defense, I saw him. He seemed like he was trying, like his arms were going. He was moving his legs. He was trying to get into position to block. It was good. It was impressive. So yeah, Raptors six. I'm pretty comfy, and like I said, I actually think like Pacers. They lost Halliburton and they lost Miles Turner to the Bucks. So how good are they going to be? I know last year they were the sort of darling, went to the finals, but I'm not sure they can maintain that. So yeah, Raptors might be fifth, but anyway, I put Pacers in there for now. I got Raptors six. I've got the Hawks seventh. Anyway, because they again have some new pieces. Maybe they're going to be able to play better than they did tonight. I don't know if they gave up a little bit or not. Certainly their crowd did. Their crowd bailed with like there was still 7, 8 minutes left in the fourth quarter, and their fans were gone out of the building, which is always exciting to see as well. Because as much as I hate the Atlanta Hawks, I might hate their fans more. I don't know. That's probably a statement. I haven't met any of them. I just feel bad that they have to cheer for that team that is never going to do anything. As long as Trae Young is there, the guy just can't win. But all right, so Hawks seven. I got the Milwaukee Bucks eight, and again, could switch those. Like I don't know what kind of impact Miles Turner is going to be. They lost Damian Lillard though, so I think they're going to be in flux. Middleton is on the Wizard. There's a whole bunch of changes over there, and like it's Gary Trent Jr. Again, I've been a Gary Trent Jr. supporter. I think the guy's got skills. He just seems to have some kind of mental problems as far as being able to, stay mentally tough. I mean, I'm not saying that he's crazy or anything, but yeah, he can't sort of keep it consistent is his problem, and I think that is all mental. So I got the Bucks where I put them at eighth. I've got the Miami Heat at nine. I've got the Boston Celtics at 10. I have oh my gosh, I cannot necessarily read my handwriting here. Oh, Philly. Um, because believe it or not, I sort of forgot about Philly actually, so I had to jig some people around at the end because I was thinking, who am I missing here? And I had to jam Philly into 11. But again, Joel Embiid not going to play the full season. Paul George is washed and can't play. And was never any value even when he was on the Clippers. Maybe won the playoffs. He was okay. But, when they signed him and everyone was freaking out, giving them the title, I was laughing my head off because the process is a complete joke. And Joel Embiid is a crybaby, who flies around with his wings and then loses ultimately in the end every single year. Tyrese Maxey is the man. I think that guy's got some mad skills. And so if they completely change their focus and put Joel Embiid coming off the bench or Joel Embiid's injured and Tyrese Maxey gets to sort of run the team. They got an interesting pick. Suddenly his name just jumped out of my head. I think he's got initials and then something. Anyway, like I said, I'll know as we go through the season. But yeah, so Philly, anyway, they're horrible. They're at 11. Um, then I have the Bulls at 12. I've got, and again, the Bulls could easily flip that spot with Philly, but if Joel Embiid actually can play some games, he can get some wins for them because the guy's just a sort of immovable, force. And yes, a season ago or two, he was averaging a point a minute before he got injured. So I just think he gets injured is my main concern with him and a little bit of his attitude. He's a little bit of a crybaby and suck. I've got the Hornets at 13. I've got the Brooklyn Nets at 14. And then I have the Washington Generals. The Washington Wiz at 15. That's my picks. So, anyway, not that you need them recapped, but quickly, yeah, Magic, Cleveland, Knicks, Detroit, Pacers, Raptors, Hawks, Bucks, Heat, Boston, Philly, Bulls, Hornets, Brooklyn, Wizard. Let me know what you think in the comments. Do you agree with that? Do you think I'm totally way off? If you're a fan of one of these teams that I have dubbed not winners, tell me why you think that I'm wrong and that they're going to do it. But yeah, man, Raptors win 138 to 118. We've got how many wins are we going to get? Can we get to like 45? Can we get to 48? Can we get to 50 wins? I don't know. I'd like to see 50. I sort of like that attitude of Scotty Barnes. I'm picturing him in the locker room right now going, all right, guys, one down, 49 to go. You know what I'm saying? That's a nice sort of stepping stone for us. But maybe we can get even beyond that. Anyway, thanks for watching. Appreciate it. Please subscribe, like if you don't, tell a friend, share with a friend, and we will see you guys next game, which, oh my gosh, is Friday, where your Toronto Blue Jays will be playing the LA Dodgers in the World Series. And I have to admit, I'm probably going to be switching a little bit around. I mean, oh my God, you can tell, this is legit me. Oh, you can't see with the glare right there off my stinking light. But, I'm there, man. 1986, I'm standing there with my little brother. And that's my father's arm right there. And that's Jesse Barfield hitting his 40th home run in 1986. And again, actually, there's Jesse Barfield right there with me when I got to play a game. That's Dwayne Ward. Played a game at the Sky Dome. And quick little story, because I don't know if I've told this on here or not, but I was in a batting cage with this man pitching to me, Mr. Jesse Barfield, who also follows me, by the way, on X, which is hilarious. This man pitched me 20 pitches, I believe it was. I cranked them all. I'm not saying that I could go do it again either. It might have been a fluke, but I'm not exaggerating. I hit every pitch, all 20, straight back at this man or, off singles, all that stuff. No fouls back, no foul ball. And when I left that batting cage, I had a jersey that was custom with my last name on it. This man, Jesse Barfield, called out my last name and said, "Hey, Langford." And I turned around to see what the heck is Jesse Barfield saying to me. Oh my God, he just used my real last name. What the heck's going on? I'm in the Twilight Zone here. And he said, "Hey, Langford, you got a shot." So I'm going to end the video on that note, but we'll be watching the Blue Jays take it all. They're going to take out the Dodgers. We're going to have another championship here in Toronto, and it's only a couple more years before the Raptors win again, and who knows, maybe the Leafs will do it too. It's Toronto. We're all over the news. We can't help it. Anyways, thanks for watching. See you next time.